Alrighty, welcome to multiplying bigger numbers.
Oh, finally.
Yippee! For your pleasure, we have made a lovely note-taking sheet. So make sure you've got it and don't lose it because you're going to need it for the next 3 videos. And there will be certain spots, and I'm not going to tell you when to fill it in, but, look at it, and there's places where there's missing words, so we're going to expect that you actually have those filled in. So the first part, and Learning Goal 3 is actually divided into 3 videos because there's 3 different ways that you can multiply, and we're going to show you all 3 so you can then choose which one you prefer. But we wanted to make shorter videos rather than really giganto videos.
Yes.
So you're welcome. So this learning goal is I can solve multi-digit multiplication problems without decimals. So we are not doing decimals yet. These are just whole numbers. So make sure you take a look, see where that fits on your note-taking sheet.
Intent.
And we're going to start with a little review because our first method is called rectangle sections, which is actually just a fancy way of saying finding the area. So just to review area from past units, start with what you know. So in this case, we remember area equals length times width if we're looking at a rectangle. So in this case, we've got a length of 20, a length of 6, a width of 20. So to find the total area, you would just multiply them. So keep that sort of in the back of your head because you're going to see our next one, we've got another rectangle. And you'll actually see we've got lots of rectangles.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, and again, this should be on your note-taking sheet, so we're going to do this, but I want you to make sure you're following along with your notes. So pause if you need to. So if you look at the number 67 times 43, the first thing we're going to do is take those 2 numbers and expand them. So if I think about the number 43, that's like saying I have 4 tens, or 40, plus 3. So on this rectangle, that's going to become part of our length, or part of our width, whichever side you're on. So 40 plus 3, and that would be the same as 43. So up here, we're going to do the same thing with 67, 60 plus 7. Now, the next step is simply copying it over onto the other sides, just so that you can see the dimensions. So I just pulled this down here, because I know this is 60, this is also 60, and put this over here. So it's just transferring it over. Now, if you look, we have 4 different rectangles, and I have the length and the width of all of them. So the next step is simply within that rectangle, solving it. So in this case, my length times width, 40 times 60, and you already know how to do these from Learning Goal 1, I think it was.
Yeah,
so
good review.
6 times 4 is 24, and I've got 2 zeros, so I add my 2 zeros. And then you go through around each rectangle and do the same thing. So 60 times 3, so 6 times 3 is 18, and then I add my 0 in. 40 times 7, 4 times 7 is 28, and I just add my 0 in again, and then 7 times 3 is 21. So now, think about it. What do I do with all those numbers? I have all these numbers, and I found the area of the inside of all of these. It would make sense we need to put them together somehow.
Yeah.
And we put them together by adding. So we take our 2400 plus 180 plus 280 plus 21. So I just took my answers here, add them all together, and you get 2,881.
Yes.
So that is the rectangle sections, and I believe they teach you this way in 4th grade too. So
it shouldn't be a surprise.
It shouldn't be brand new to you. It's probably just need a little refresher.
Yeah, definitely.
So now it is your turn.
All right.
So they get to pause and try it.
Oh, yes. So, once again, you can refer to your note-taking sheet. We're on the 2nd page. And so you will want to take a moment to pause, and then we'll go over how exactly to fill this in.
And if you don't know how to do it, if you forget, please rewind. No one's going to know. There's nothing wrong with that. We actually would encourage you to do that.
Right. Rather than just
Please
copying
do.
us again.
Yes.
That would be helpful. So, let's see how you did. First of all, then, we're going to look over here and expand our numbers out. That's the first step. So looking here, we have 30 and 9 going along this way. And then we have our second number going across. So we have 50 plus 4 then. And then, once again, we just want to transfer those so we can see them on all of the sides here. So
now I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What if could they put 50 and 4 along the side and 30 and 9 along the top? Would they still get the right answer?
Definitely. Yep. That's the beauty of multiplication. We can switch those around. So, yep, if you did that on your note-taking sheet, you're okay.
Yep.
That's good. As long as you are just making sure that they go hand in hand here.
Yeah.
So, now looking here, up and down, we should have the same things, and then across, we should have 30 plus 9 over here. Now it's just a matter of solving for each rectangle. This is the largest one, and we have 30 times 50 should be 1500 then, because 5 times 3, and then just tack on your 2 zeros. And then you can look down here and solve for this rectangle. 9 times 5 equals 450. Or I'm sorry, 9 times 5 equals 45, and then add your 0. Then 30 times 4 equals 120, because once again, looking at the numbers and then adding on your 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then 9 times 4 equals 36. Then off to the side, you should just be adding up all your answers of these smaller areas to come up with one final answer. So off to the side, you should have something like this. And one thing I just want to point out is that it's really, really important to make sure your numbers are lined up.
Yeah.
Like all of your 1s should be all up and down right here.
Yep.
All of your 10s should be in the tens place, nice and straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then any in the hundreds and any in the thousands. So just make sure, I know it's tricky with our note-taking sheet, we don't have like lines or columns to sort of do this trick again, but just make sure that you're lining those up so you can add up properly. And you should have gotten 2,106.
Yep.
All right, so of course we would not want you to be left out with any practice.
Yeah.
So
you would be very sad.
yes,
I know it.
I know you would be very disappointed. So we have a couple for you to try here. You are going to do 32 times 28. Once again, boxes are right here for you. And then 21 times 52.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck. Look back at your notes to help you out in the steps. And we'll see how you did tomorrow.